All right, breaking news that Q, the former mascot of the University of Georgia, has passed away in his sleep. And of course, it's always very sad when pets die. Here's what Charles Syler, who keeps Ugga on the sideline, had to say. He said things will be a little different around the house for a while. Q traditionally starts barking for his breakfast around 5:30 a.m. This morning. Boom waited until 6 a.m. to let us know that he was ready for breakfast, so he'll be a little later each day. So Boom is of course Ugga right now. He Q was Ugga before Boom, and Q was uh, uh, seen all of Kirby Smart's time with the exception of this last season. He started his tenure at Georgia. Collaring ceremony was before the Georgia Southern game in 15, and he did a bunch of stuff there. It wasn't certain that Q was going to be the dog, to be honest with you, but he was 2.5 years old. He was 91-18 as a mascot with back-to-back national championships. Excuse me, with uh, back-to-back national championships. Excuse me, a national championship appearance in 2017, a couple SEC championships, Rose, Sugar, Orange, and Peach Bowls. His first bowl game was the Gator Bowl down there in Jacksonville. The UGA line of mascots began in 1956 under Frank and Cecilia Syler, and now Charles Syler. And his sister's around a lot too, but Charles is mainly the person on the sideline, has continued loyal dedication to the mascots for more than 70 years. I just want to say this, I see Charles a lot on the sideline, and I'm going to put some images up of Q over the years. Charles does a lot, and the Silers do a lot, but Charles does a lot for the university. I mean, this is his pet. I mean, think about that. We have pets. I'm not taking them to Georgia games with me. I mean, it's a job, and I know I've talked with Charles a couple of times about moments in time. Here's Q at the Rose Bowl. By the way, this previous image was Q at the national championship game against Alabama in 2017. I'm going to go through some images here and there. Here he is also at the Rose Bowl. I guess they switched his jersey, it looks like, at some point here. Yeah, they did. I don't think Q was in the Rose Parade, but often, the mascot means a lot for Georgia, at Georgia. He's the symbol of the university as much as the arches. It's just such a big deal to have him there. And I've been doing this now for a long, long time, and I see some very beautiful images of Q. Slightly out of focus, but that's okay. This is him at the Sugar Bowl where he almost died with Bevo, and this is a shot that we used during the Dylan Weber spent a fair amount of time with Q from Thursday to Saturday of a game. Here's a photographer with Q, but we spent time with Q talking about his time. What's it like being Q? What's it like being the mascot? I mean, this is an image right here of a very hot day in Athens. The first game of the season in 18, and there's the poor mascot with two people. There's Charles right there. The mascot has air conditioning in there. For those of you who don't know a lot about Ugga, we know that the colloquial name, of course, is Ugga. Everybody calls everybody calls Ugga, but at home he's called Q. Here he is in the national championship game against Alabama. I can tell just from the colors in the image, the backgrounds, what these games are. Quavo with Harry Dawg. There's so many. I mean, Dawg. If someone has more images than we do of the last 20 something years of UGA athletics, I'd like to know who they are. I don't think that person is out there. But here's Q coming off of Neyland Stadium. And you see sometimes it's not Charles. Oh, this Charles right there. Sometimes it's not Charles that walks him off at the end of the game. But what I did want to talk about was Dylan Weber, who worked at Dawg Post for a long time, wrote the story in 2018 about what it was like with Q. And I would encourage y'all to go read it. I just put it on Facebook and let's see here. Got all this on here accidentally here suddenly. I'm trying to do two things at once. That never goes well. But here we go. A fall weekend in the life of Q, UGA 10th. And this is a story about how he eats Chick-fil-A. He just walks through security like it's nothing. People get really excited to see Q or to see Ugga, and this is the funniest part is when he gets his Chick-fil-A sandwich. So this is Q. I can't speak to every Ugga, but this Q goes crazy for a Chick-fil-A sandwich. He is a big fan of Chick-fil-A sandwiches. And that's something that now some of these are not Q, by the way. This is I think Ugga 8 or 7 at the Sugar Bowl in 2008. This is Ugga 6 against in 2013. I got a good shot at him. It shows the ice. I'll put this story at the bottom. This is an image right here. This is the Georgia Southern game in 15. So some aspiring photographer got up with a neat looking image and got this shot at the 10-yard line. I don't know who that possibly could have been. But he gets 5 guys as well. That's one thing you see here at the bottom of the story. But I have forever, it's hard to cover Georgia and not, I wouldn't say be obsessed, but not take note of the Dawg. I mean, the Dawg matters so much in for the university and the school. And sometimes, Charles, you'll see, like right here, you can't see this super well. I'm gonna put it on the screen though. This is at the Peach Bowl, okay, in the national semifinal, and you can probably barely make it out, but I'll try to make the image larger, which I can't do. Ugga is smiling at the or is making the cameraman who's adjusting a wire for the pylon there. AD Mitchell's about to score the game-winning touchdown. There's 3 minutes and 15 seconds left right there. He's adjusting the pylon and he sees the Dawg and he starts smiling. And that's what it's like. I mean, like other mascots, just to be fair, they don't, it's not the same. Like, you know, it's not at all the same when you see the Georgia Tech Bumblebee or whatever that thing is. It's not the same when you see Cocky or, you know, whatever Auburn's Tigers name. I mean, there is no mascot for, I think it's Big Al at Alabama, and it's also Al the alligator, if I'm not mistaken, at Florida. It's not the same as with Ugga, because you can pet Ugga. You can, you know, Ugga can give you kisses if you smell right, or perhaps if you have a Chick-fil-A sandwich. There's a lot of stuff that that is so fun about those dogs. I am sad for Charles and the Sylers. It's a what those the you know, Ugga is a magical creature. This is Q right here. This is the last. This was before his last. He's on the image for G-Day for the credential. This is a credential, by the way, at Georgia, and he was on the credential for G-Day, but that was when they put in Boom. So there is a new. It's not like the living mascot passed away, but it is sad, of course. that the mascot has passed away. It's someone's, that's someone's pet. And the truth is, it's everyone at Georgia, it's their pet too. Now, it's not, y'all don't see a lot of the stuff that we see on the sideline, with the dog. And like Ugga 5, I feel like Ugga 5 or 6, I think it was 6, was like super active. He was like going after the flag line for the band for the Redcoats. I mean, Ugga was after it at all times. Ugga 5 was really chilled out. Ugga 7 was a little bit more chill. Nobody was like Ugga 6. I mean, that thing was ready to roll at all times. And I don't really remember, for a while they had a hard time with the health of the dogs from like 10 to 14. But Q really slowed that down. Q was the mascot for an extended period of time. I think he was there for 70 full years. And Boom has been a good mascot too. I cannot stress this enough. Charles Syler and the Sylers do a lot for Georgia. And the mascot is a way to get recognition and publicity for the school. It's a way to raise money. I have seen many times, I've seen superstar players, Matthew Stafford, Eric Zier, whoever. I would say the only player in Georgia history that comes close to being as popular as the Dawg is Herschel. And like the only person who rivals the head well, I don't think the coaches are as popular as the Dawg is. I'm just going to tell you that right now. I have been to way more picture days than I ever need to go to. And the way that they used to do picture day back in the day when Kirby was a player, it would be on the practice fields at Buttsmere. And the way that they've done picture days, pre-COVID, I don't know that we do picture days anymore. But anyway, the only line that would rival the Dawg was the coach. And so what happened was they started moving it to where you had to have a ticket for the Dawg and you had to be inside, and there was a 2-hour window because everybody wanted a picture with the Dawg. I can't tell you how many of my friends have just like been around and they want to be with the Dawg. They don't care about the coaches. They only care about the Dawg. And that tells you, I mean, these people are not all Georgia fans. So that tells you all you need to know. Anytime a friend of mine who is not a Georgia person, who's on the sideline, and almost all the time when it's a Georgia person who never gets to be on the sideline, their goal is to be on the field with the Dawg. They think it's really neat that they're on the sideline, but if there's anybody around, they're looking straight for that Dawg. All of my friends from college, I mean, they're all split up as to who they love, whether it's Kentucky or Clemson or South Carolina or whoever. Or Georgia Tech people, for sure, Auburn people, they all want a picture with the Dawg. And that tells you right there, there's just nothing like Ugga. It just doesn't exist out there in the world. But sad news out of Savannah, the passing of Q. Anyway, we'll hopefully have better news next time we talk.